Very good everybody, and welcome to another video. This is your personal funky sim pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko, and I will be your captain for today's flight. And today's flight will take us once again in the PMDG 777-F freighter variant to do another cargo haul. It will be a short flight, a little under 2 hours. We'll be flying the Boeing 777-F from Atlanta to Newark in New York. We're using real-world time and real-world weather and the Airsoft simple traffic tool. And that's about as fancy as it will get tonight. Let's first things first, let's resync the simulator web, or the time actually. There you go. It seems to fall behind whenever you alt-tab out of the program for a second. That's a little bit annoying, but yeah, I don't think there's anything you can do. So here we are then. Maybe I wasn't totally, fully and completely and beautifully repaired as I usually am, but I guess this will suffice. So here is a little aircraft, or maybe not too little, quite big baby. So we're parked here at Atlanta airport. Real-world time, real-world weather. Parked at Bay 8. This is the southern cargo ramp. So let's set everything up. So we hop on in. Let's just first load up the flight plan. And ground operations, we request the ground power. That wasn't in place yet. Usually we're using GSX, but I believe there might still be a bug with GSX and the 777-F. So yeah, it's a little bit scared to rely on that. So that's why we're not using it. Which is a bit of a shame, because I'd actually really like using GSX a lot. So available, so let's turn on the ground power. Or the external power is turned on. And then let's also start up the ADRU, so the aircraft can figure out where it is. Emergency lights. And local lights. Do those as well. Some bright lights here in the cockpit. So there will be no boarding process or anything, so this will be should be fairly quick, I think. Let's go SMC. Looks like we are on the correct cycle. So REF Airport, Atlanta. The gate, I have no idea. So let's have a look. Cargo building. Well, Day 8. I'm not really sure that will be called. Well, let's just try and type it in, that will be funny. And do we have a space? We do. I would be very surprised. Okay, so it's not a nice space. And then maybe if we put the 8 next to it, then again, I don't think so. No. Okay, it would have been too beautiful to be true. Let's just try 8. No, that's not in database. Alright, so go airport information. These are basically Jefferson charts, so they are based on the real world charts. And I'm 33, so it doesn't say anything. That's no big surprise. So airports and taxi for no, this is for Newark actually. Let's go back airports, Atlanta, charts, taxi. And then we should have parking gate coordinates, parking gates. These are the actual gates, it looks like. Yeah, we're way to south at runway 27 left for 09 is right. South cargo ramp procedures, also interesting. We're probably going to break a couple. I don't know. It's okay. I give up. So, cost index 84, cruising 350. We got 20.6, 6.7 or 6.8. 6.8. So we can set payload. Actually, did not set a payload in SimBrief. But, well, do it. Set payload, set fuel, and select route. I must say, I do miss the boarding process, things happening outside the aircraft. It's very nice when you're standing here, setting everything up, and just to hear and see a little bit of activity, you know? Okay, so we can load this up now. It is uploading. Then once it's done, we can select activate and then execute. There we go, activate and execute. Now we go to the next page, we see our flight plan here, it's very short. So we got departure, runway 09 on the left, with the plumber 3 departure. So departure arrival, 09 on the left. Plumber 3. Transition BURGG, we have transition, we have BURGG. So transition BURGG, we can select it too. And execute. And at Newark, we'll get the runway 22 left with the Tilbo 4. So ILS 22 left, Tilbo 4. And is that a transition? Got QUART, I believe that is in here as well. Get it, execute. Now the next page will show the entire flight plan. And there will be vectors right there before the runway basically. We'll look at that in a little bit. So performance 6.8, 20.6. Cruising altitude here it says 370. Perhaps, okay, so first we go 350, but then, as far as I know, this is the initial cruising altitude. I think we should make that 350. Maybe just be totally wrong here. So 350, why did not click? Do I have to put FL in front of it maybe? Can I not change it? Reject maybe? At least try before we do that. So FL 350. No, doesn't want it. Cost index 84. We got that. So 350 is initial cruising altitude. And does it ever go up to 370? Doesn't even want to go up to 370, so I'm not really sure why that's there. And something else, we have runway 09ers, let's check the weather. Atlanta. Okay, that seems okay, 100 at 3 knots. I'm just going to accept it. And maybe now we can change. 350. There you go. That's nice. Cost index 84, so the rest is all okay. And thrust limits, we will use our calculator for the performance tool radar. 09 on the left, I believe it was. Takeoff 2 at 47 degrees. We'll take off 2 at 47. It's giving us 87.6. This is the same, 87.6. Flaps 5, thrust acceleration, height 1500 feet. V1 151, rotate 153, V2 155. So flaps 5. Trim 4.75, we see that here as well. And this giving us speed 152, 153, 155. I'll take that. And that's the setup completed right here of the FMC. So the APU is already running. We should have the fuel on board. Let's open up the hydraulics. Oh, do not turn that off. And the fuel pumps. The beacon on. Now let's see, fuel. We got 20.6. Seatbelt sign to on. Our score code will be 3121. And what's this doing? TARA, let's just put that to a transponder. And then finally, the radio panels for the pilots. And turn on both flight directives. And then we'll be cruising to 35, or climbing to flight level 350. And the speed in the window, we'll put there 250 knots. LNAV armed, BNAV armed. Engines are shut down, T-gas is off, doors are still open, passenger signs are on, APUs are running, doors are manual. Let's get our checklist. Oxygen tested, flight instrument heading, altimeter, set the altimeter. Quick and dirty way, 30.09. Parking brake, let's set it. Parking brake set. We should have hydraulics, I believe, so let's also put the trim wheel to 4.75. One back. Come on, thank you. Okay. Well, this is actually not on our list, but we can check this one. Supernumerary signs on MCV, mode control panel, V2 speed, heading and track altitude. We can check that. Takeoff speeds, we got 152, 153, 155. CDU pre-flight to be completed, trim has been set, taxi and takeoff briefing. So runway 09 on the left. That's that one right there. Double pushback, nose to the left. So facing north, we'll get out of to Romeo 6. We'll turn left onto Romeo. We just follow Romeo all the way until we cross the runway 09 on the right on Papa. And this is Romeo still, then it's Papa. Yeah, so that's it. So very simple. So pushback, nose to the left. And then takeoff briefing. We got the plumber departure. So runway, let's see, plumber, that's the one that goes up here, plumber. This is probably ours, the lead us Airline plumber. So it's a very simple departure, we'll just take off, turn left. Taxi briefing completed, normal, and then the before taxi. So this requires us to first actually start our engines. Yeah, so as suggest we do that. Let's have a look outside. So there is one door here still open, and those doors there as well. So ground operations. Let's actually, oh wait, let's see now. I'm interested, weight and balance. Size loading. 45. Like a little under 70,000 kilograms, I believe. So it's not like a totally full plate. Okay, and then ground operations. We can release the ground power units. And we can also remove the chocks. Now hopefully our doors are going to close automatically then. And it looks like they are. Let's make it like a movie. We have to make it. We have to make it. Quickly. Quickly go through. We made it. Oh, that's shit. We're in the wrong part of the aircraft. Now we cannot get out. Well, actually still can. Alright, so we'll push back the nose to the left, so facing north. And we'll get out of here onto Romeo, and then we'll follow to the end of the runway. We'll cross runway 09 right to get to 09 left. And that's what we'll do. So let's call it tug. So basically we'll do the pushback ourselves using the pushback helper tool. You can download this for free on flightsim.tl if you like it, if you don't have something like that. It's very handy. Let's see. Engine shutdown mode, TCAS is off. No. I think everything should be okay. What do you say? Shall we give it a go? Let's release the parking brake. Let's go reverse. Right, so we're pushing back, so let's start engine number 2. guess we can stop right here. Let's set the parking brake. And we dismiss the tug. It's going. Oh, not too bad. We're not quite on the line, but I'll take it. Engine number 1. So the N2 will always start to run first once it reaches around 10%, I believe. Add the fuel. So using the DHL app livery today. Okay, so we have 2 running engines. Let's get back to the checklist. So NTIs should be on auto. I never use it in this aircraft because it's always on auto, but let's have a look at it. NTIs, so you got the wing section that's on auto, and then you have the engine section, the left and the right engine, they're both on auto. And with this, well then, I don't know, guess it's okay. Oh, thank you for driving through us. You're only carrying highly explosive liquids there, so, you know. NTIs. Recall, let's check the recall. Okay, so it was basically just saying RTCAS warning. Auto brake, reject the takeoff. Flight controls, they're checked. Ground equipment is clear. And then before takeoff should be flaps 5, and we can set the flaps 5 right now. That should conclude everything. So we can turn on the runway turn-off lights and the taxi lights. Release our parking brake. And probably they want you to squawk or to turn on your TCAS, I'm not sure. Well, let's just do that. Let me see if I can quickly check the time again. Let's not go too fast, we need to make a turn here. couple of flights I've had some difficulties flying the ILS properly. And not to say that that always flew them perfectly or anything, but it felt like they were going a little bit better. And then the last couple of flights, not so much. So curious what it's going to be now. And I'm saying curious, I mean, you know, it's repetition, you know. And it's something you cannot, at least I cannot, like, I have to do an entire flight if I want to practice an ILS. I cannot just load up into the sim at some altitude. My brain doesn't like that at all. Alright, so we're going to cross runway 09 right here. Let's keep it rolling. Right, so here is our runway coming up. Running lights, strobe lights. Runway 09 left. I think everything else looks good. There's the before takeoff checklist completed as well, and then we have the after takeoff. Luca, hello. How are you doing, man? So nice of you to say hi. We're just about to take off. No, we're just going to take off now. We're at Atlanta Airport. Let me put the parking brakes on 1 second. So we're at Atlanta Airport, and we're going to be taking a short flight, like 1 hour and 50 minutes or something, to Newark in New York area. And we're just using DHL livery, so we'll be delivering some interesting goods to the people of Newark. Alright, so let's get ready. Everything looks fine. The after takeoff checklist is loaded, so we will do have to start the timer. Yeah, let's really quickly do that. PMDG setup, and we go to aircraft equipment, because I would like the digital time display and not the analog. I will start flying right now, Luca. I'm about to take off this very moment, and here is where we do it. So we release the parking brakes, they are released. We set takeoff thrust to about 50%. There you go. And then we let the engine stabilize. And we set takeoff thrust. And here we go.
Airspeed's alive. $80 knots.
That's our V1 speed is 152, rotated 153. So that is coming up.
V1 rotate.
Rotate. So positive rate, gear up.
Positive rate of climb.
Oh cool, those doors are not going simultaneously. That looks really cool. Go shoot pizza. Alright, so let's see, AP is on. The flaps can be retracted, or at least we can go flaps 1. They don't have to be retracted altogether. Basically the aircraft is now flying the departure for us, we're not doing this ourselves. We're just monitoring some other things. The flaps up speed is coming closer. So we'll leave flaps 1 out for now. So just a little bit of flaps that we'll need to retract. Thank you, Luke. Thanks. I'm not sure how we'll do in a real plane though, but let's flaps off. Let's just sign off APU running. We can turn off the APU now. We don't need it anymore. Just eating up our fuel. So landing gear is up, flaps are up. So after takeoff checklist has been completed as well. And then we get to the descent checklist. So what we'll do, we'll go to the com page and we'll enter our arrival airport, Newark. And we'll go flight information, agent's request, and this will give us our weather. So we put that here, and now we have Newark in there, and we'll say from PMDG, auto, and set. So this will give us automated weather updates. Okay, so we're now on our way to Erwin. We'll be there in 8 nautical miles, and that's the one right there in front of us, Erwin. And then we'll take a left turn and follow the pink line onto Polmar, or whatever that's called, Plummer. Transition altitude 18,000 feet, United States. We're now 2 minutes into the flight. As I said, we're using real-world time and real-world weather. So this is basically the weather at this moment in Atlanta, United States. So it looks like it's a nice morning, just a little bit cloudy, but there's also some open patches with sunlight. Smooth line. Somebody like. Two 250 knots, 8,400 feet. Look, there's a lot of traffic around. From Atlanta to Newark, oh yes. Yeah, I can show you the flight plan as well. This will be our route. We are here, Atlanta. Let's make a world map. So we're here, Atlanta, and we'll follow this line, obviously, and then we'll go to Newark. It is not quite JFK, but it is near. Oh, you got to do some freaky shitty homework. Alright, man, that's very good. I'm proud of you. You go do your homework, my friend. And that's always good. I'll be flying for at least 1 hour and 30 more minutes, I think. 10,000 feet, and our nose is dropped. Let's turn off the landing lights. Or turn off lights, exit lights can come off too. And let's also put the seatbelt sign to auto. So definitely flying through some clouds here, look at that. There was sort of a little wing view, but look, there's the cars being transported here. This is not my choice, they are actually already in the PMDG, in this aircraft. But it's cool nonetheless. Alright, let's go back to the flight deck and see if we're not fly into anything. Like flying elephants or, you know, or a giraffe with such a long neck that you'll actually just see them right here, you know. Okay, so we heard a little message, the com, so that means that we have a new weather report. So Newark information Romeo at 1751 Zulu, so the time is now 1822 Zulu. Surface wind 180 degrees at 3 knots, so that's not very windy at all. But then visibility over 10 statute miles, clouds broken. 6,500 feet, broken at 2,500 feet, temperature 22, dew point 6, altimeter 3020 then, I think. Okay, we can cancel that. Okay, AP is on, thruster F, LNAV, TNAV speed. I'm thinking everything looking okay. Did we forget anything? We have to turn on or off something. Does it look like it? Everything looking fine, if you ask me. have another look outside. That's our DHL 777-F. So anyone has any ideas of what we're transporting today, let me know. Right, so I think we're about to pass through 18,000 feet. That's our transition altitude. So then we are now at local pressure, 30.09 inch. So we'll put that now to standard pressure, which is 2992. It doesn't show here, but it is. Our en route time is now 6 minutes. We're 6 minutes into the flight, 80,000 feet. And we got 2 running engines. They look good. Let's go to the engine page. And they look all engine-y, they look happy. So then I'm happy as well. And the fuel. Where's the fuel page? So we have no fuel in the center fuel tanks. We're not using those. We're just using the left main and right tanks, the forward and aft. They carry all our fuel, 17.6 thousand kilograms of fuel remaining. If we go to the progress page, we can see what we will be landing with. We should land with 8.5 thousand kilograms of fuel still remaining in our tanks. Let's put this now back to COM. We can see some weather updates when they come. So everything looking good. Our top of climb is coming up there in about 40 nautical miles, a little bit more, 45. And that will be the cruising altitude, so we're not doing any step altitude. Let's look at the legs page. This is saying 370 there. I don't understand. Or did I? Oh, wait, we checked. I believe it actually was 370, wasn't it? Let's see. Incoming flyback. I'm not 100% sure, but look here, it is 350, 350, 350. No, it's actually going 350, but the flight plan says 370. Let's see if we go VNAV, cruising altitude 350, okay. Climb, cruise 370, step 2, but we won't step, although it is suggesting it there. I recommend 350. That's alright, we'll see. We're now on our way to 10th, and then 36 nautical miles to Newark. This definitely gives the impression we have to fly to 370. Let's put that in. And then if we go to the VNAV page, cruising altitude, and we change that to 370. We can do that. And we just did. And then we'll start descending. So let's have a look at the arrival. So runway 22 left. I may have the Atlanta. Newark. Weather. Variable 60. I believe they're using runway 22 left. They're using arrival runway 29, but this aircraft is too big to land on runway 29, so we'll use 22 left. And we have that programmed in, runway 22 left. So let's set up for our arrival. So basically the arrival chart is telling us we're coming from QUART. We got Swan, we got some waypoints, and then let's see, we go to Filbo, and then from there you would expect vectors for runway 22. So basically they're sort of vectoring us around. So Filbo will be our last waypoint there. So now let's have a look at, zoomed in a little bit more. So here is Filbo somewhere there to the left. We'll have to fly to the right to Gidzenko and Gimme. So let's see what's in our flight plan. If we go back, so after Filbo it's saying vectors, so we'll fly that ourselves instead of getting vectors. And then it's taking us to Zafti and Buzzed. That's these two waypoints, so we could at least enter Gimme and Gidzenko, and then maybe even some other one. I don't know where pattern is, but we could try. So let's put the navigational display here to our right, and I will set plan. So from Filbo, you see that the line will go indefinitely. This means we don't have a new waypoint after that. We could just take a right, but that's a little bit tight. So we could also maybe program something in from Filbo to the right. Let's first enter those other waypoints. That could already help us out a lot. So Gimme and Gidzenko. So Gimme, we just type it in. And we want it to be in front of Zasti, so we'll put it right there. And we'll do the same for Gidzenko. Let's do it like this. Execute. Then we go here, vectors. So we want Gidzenko. Gidzenko, I can put it on vectors. Let's not hook them up yet, so let's execute. So what's happening here? Let's zoom in a little bit more. So basically this is telling us we're flying, let's see, so Mercer to Metro. We're coming from Mercer to Metro, then we're going up to Mars. Let's do steps, then we go to Mars, Filbo, and then we'll take a right turn to Gidzenko, and then another right turn. So we could join those two together. And then maybe we'd like some extra waypoint there. And what did we see here? We saw pattern. I don't know if this is actually like a waypoint somewhere. Pattern. Let's just try it out. I can imagine that ATC would not like pilots doing this, but we're just having fun with the simulator. So after Filbo, what would that look like? I think that might be okay. I think so, let's do it. So execute, and then we zoom in a little bit more again. We go through the steps again. So Mercer to Metro to Mark to Filbo, that will take us to pattern. My pattern is not connected to Gidzenko, and we will do it like this. Gidzenko can come there, there's a little dashed line, execute. And hopefully this angle is not too sharp, Gidzenko, otherwise we could maybe Pattern. Let's try something else first. So maybe I'm going fast because I'm not explaining myself completely. 1500 feet at bust. That's where the glide slope should start to take us down. It's bust, and bust is ILSQ is the runway identifier. So bust 4.7 miles. So that's quite close. 4.7 miles from the airport. So let's make that 5. And the approach course 2 to left will be 219er, so the reciprocal 039er at 5. So runway 2 to left, we go to our 6 page, place it in 039er, and then 5 miles, and also 039er at, let's say, 15 miles. It might be a little bit short. So we'll go pattern. Let's have a look at the leg stage here. Pattern. From Filbo to pattern is 086. So we'll say we want to create a waypoint out of pattern. So we click pattern. 086 will be the heading. And then we'll say 10 miles. That should give us a new waypoint, so let's try that. We'll put that before Gidzenko. This is too hard to see, but it's sort of okay. I think it's getting us in the correct direction. Let's zoom in and we'll go through the steps. That will be a lot more clear then. So let's execute this one. And then step. So after Filbo, we'll go to pattern, and then from pattern we'll go a little bit further. So that's actually overshooting the runway, but at least this could help us get into the right direction. We could maybe also say, instead of 089, we could maybe say 079 or maybe 069. Let's do that. So we'll delete this one. Let's see what's happening. There, it's out. And then we execute, and we copy the name pattern. And 0304, let's say 05 now. And 4, we set 10 earlier, so let's do 8. Let's bring us there. Oh, of course, we need to go to different direction. Oh, so erase, my bad. The pattern. So 08. What were you? 089? Say 1. Come back. 110. Now for about 8 miles. That's overshooting it. So erase. We'll try that again. Like usually they would factor you, you know, we're just playing around to get ourselves a little bit. Say maybe 095 for 7 miles. That looks spot on. Could have been more to the right maybe, but it's okay. At least we're far out enough, and we can execute. And then Gidzenko will be copied onto the empty spot right there, and that will hook them up. And that should be our plan. So step, and that will take, that looks like a good turn. That will be fine. It has to be quick there. It's, the ILS starts, the glide slopes are really short in front of the runway. So we'll definitely have to be prepared by that. So that's done, so we can go back to the map page and full zoom. Holding flight level 370 now at cruising altitude. So we're not going to fly any higher. So now let's look when is our top of descent. PNF. Oh, we're not climbing to 390, man. I want my top of descent, and I want it now. Climb. Max Optum recommended 370. I don't know. Let's go to the legs page. You see here, this is all altitude 370. And then somewhere after Bills, that will be our top of descent. We can copy Bills, go to the progress page, put it there, and then see we are at Bills at around 1920. So that's in about 50 minutes. So I'm guessing our top of descent is around that area, so sort of. Let's go back to the legs page. So we set up our arrival more or less. We do need a few other things, so let's go back to the charts. So we now know we have the runway, sorry, the ILS will intercept us the glide slope at 1500 feet at buzz. That is about 4.7 nautical miles from the localizer. Localizer frequency 108.7, and the final approach course will be 219. This should all be in our FMS. We can check here in the FMC basically on the NavRap page. And it's not showing yet. We can put it there ourselves if we want, and otherwise it will be auto filled out. So let's put it ourselves to 108.7, 108.70 / because we also need to put in the final approach course. That will be 219 degrees. So 219, and we'll put it there, and there it's in. But otherwise the aircraft will fill this out, this aircraft will fill this out when you get close enough anyway. We have that. Rest speed, we'll look at that later. And then we do need our decision altitude. And that will be, let's go for 150 feet. If we are at 150 feet and we do not see the runway, we should do a go around. So radio altitude 150. Where is this? 150. Now I'm curious where the top of descent is. So let's go through the flight plan here. Oh, we need to be on plan. Top of descent, where is that? Between Bales, so after Bales. Come on, Bales, where are you? Where are you hiding? Bales. If you go progress page, Bales is, yeah, that's 1920. That's, this is about 30 minutes. So we set up most of the things for our arrival and our approach. Go back to the map. Following 370. Cruising out to 370. It does suggest a step climb for some reason. I don't know why. recommended is 370. So we'll keep that. In a little bit we'll see the exact time for our top of descent, and then we'll start preparing. But basically we've done most of the work already. We did have one weather report. Go to the com page. And that was issued 1751. Yeah, so it looks like it's one update per hour. Not a whole lot. And the local QNH is 3020, I would think then. Let's just double check here as well. 3020, there it is. So it's pre-dialed, that might change, so we'll have to double check that later. Right there. 27 minutes into the flight. And for some reason my controller decided to stop. So this is us from the outside. Looking all pretty and yellow. Quite some clouds actually, look at that. At least up here we're getting some sunshine, you know. Unless we close these. Just love the sound of these things. Very cool. Alright. So I'm excited to set this aircraft down again. As I said earlier, I've been flying these for the last 2 flights, I believe, and both ILS approaches were not optimal. I went nose down at some point. I think I got 2 times like sink rate warning, glide slope warning, you know. So hopefully I can focus a little bit better today and do a better job. The bales on top of descent right there. You cannot really read it, but it's the green thingies there. T/D, top of descent. We do have a little bit of tailwind. The speed is Mach 0.832, and that is what it's aiming for, so it's in the plan as well, at 370. The runway is quite long. I believe it's 11,000 feet or something. Let's have a look. 11,000, exactly 11,000, or no, we are 2 to left. This is 2 to left, yes. That is 9,999 feet long. Okay, but that's sufficient for our aircraft, that's okay. And then we'll vacate the runway towards the right, obviously. And then we can have a look where is the cargo section at Newark. I have no clue. Why do we not see a flight plan? Oh, we do. Just the green color. Okay, so where's Newark? So this will be our runway, 2 to left, and then we'll vacate somewhere to the right, cross the runway 2 to left, 2 to the right, excuse me. FedEx, FedEx, FedEx. I think FedEx would mind if we parked at their place. There's UPS, United Airlines cargo, something called Building 157. Well, that's one way of drawing attention to yourself. So let's park between the FedEx planes. Maybe we can upset some FedEx colleagues. It will be funny. So that means that if there's an hourly update, it would be at 1851, and then we'll get it at 1905 or something. See if we have a confirmation. Top of descent, there you go, 1921 hours, that's 257 nautical miles. And we also have a checklist for the descent. At least it's somewhat of a shorter checklist, I guess. We check the recall notes is not applicable. Auto brake, so yeah, that's why I was looking at the around the length. Auto brake, we can put them on medium, that would be allowed to 2 or something. We'll do this before we start descending. That's at 1921. Well, that is still up at 20 minutes ago. Right, so I will be right back. I'll just run off to the galley real quick. And when I get back, we'll continue preparing for our arrival into Newark. In the meantime, I'll leave you with the external view. Okay, so we're back. No new weather report yet. A little bit early. So it will be quite short actually. Usually the intercepts of the glide slope. Yeah, I don't know, maybe the arc is usually longer, but maybe it's sort of around the same distance. It's about 4.7 nautical miles from the runway. 1,500 feet. And Gidzenko 3,000. I need to go up here. So 1,500 feet. So what I can do is already will just dial 1,500 in here for now. So that in a couple of minutes when the aircraft will start descending, it will, well, it will actually start descending. If we do, unless we do, if we don't do this, it will not start descending. So there needs to be an altitude that's lower than your current altitude. So our current altitude is 37,000 feet, and that's what it was on. It was saying 37,000. And then once the aircraft will fly over that green dot that says that's the top of descent, that's when we will start descending. The aircraft will fly over that and it will know. And because it knows, it will start descending. But if it has no altitude lower than its current altitude, now it does, it will not start descending, but now it will. So we put in 1,500 feet. Why? Because that is the lowest altitude to which the aircraft will start its entire descent from all the way where we are to 1,500. From there you can see this arc. This arc is the ILS, and that will the glide slope, and that will take our aircraft down automatically. So that's why we set this altitude there, and not ground level 0, for instance, you know. So let me have a look at my call sheet, so I'll be right back. Right, so we're back. Top of descent, 1920. So it's about 20 more minutes, 22. We'll get our latest weather report before then. And speaking of which, there it is. So the weather, have a good look. Information Sierra at 1851 Zulu. Surface wind 360 degrees, 7 knots. That wind has changed like a mofo. 360 degrees, 7 knots. Visibility over 10 statute miles. Clouds scattered at 6,500, broken at 8,500, broken at 25,000 feet. Temperature 23, 2.6, 3019. Information Sierra. So what? They have now wind coming from the north. Newark. This is 7 minutes ago. The actual wind would be 010. Yeah, that is pretty much from the north. Toward the sink. Still have a runway 29 approach, departing 2 to left. So really? So they are departing, well, it's not very much. How much was it? Well, 7 knots, that is something, but okay. Let's keep it for now. We could set up for a different approach. you know, because we can just do our own thing. We're not flying online or anything. So we could set up for an approach in the opposite direction, which would obviously be better, you know, but don't know what the procedures are. And then I would say 04 left and not 04 right, just to have a longer runway. I don't know. We can do that. And we will. So to do that, you can go to your route page. You have your active route, that's in white, so it's just like everything else. But then when you click route 2, this is now empty, okay? So we're going to fill this. Route 2 will be our backup route, so that we can switch. Like here, you could activate, but this would activate nothing. We're not doing that. So you go to route, you click it again, and then you say route copy. And this will not copy the entire route that you have already in here. So, in other words, you go to the legs page. These are all the individual legs on your flight plan. All the different waypoints that you will cross. And this is taking us all the way to runway 21 left. Oops, I overshot it. Runway 22 left. So now if we go to the route page and we say route number 2. We have the exact same flight plan, but it's in blue here on top. Let's open the navigational display. To our right. And put that on plan. For instance, we could now say departure and arrival, so we go for route number 2, here it says route number 1. These are departing airports, our arriving airports. Route number 2, same deal, departing airport, arriving airport. And we'll take arriving in route number 2, because we want to change our arrival. We want to change from ILS 22 left, for instance, ILS 04 left, that would be this one, 04 left. So let's do that. We'll select 04 Zulu 04 left. And can we still keep the Filbo 4? Let's see. Looks like it. Let's just try it out. And we'll see what's going to happen. And we're going via QUART as well. And now here you can see there's also a blue line superimposed, right? So we now go to the legs page. And we go step climb, so let's first go towards the end. And then it will make a little bit more sense, I think. Let's see. I will zoom in a little bit more as well. Because we're actually coming from the correct direction here. For step, we'll be at Steffi, and then Pronto, ARD, dial in. Mercer, Metro, and this is actually already getting close to the airport of Filbo. Let's see, what do they do? Mars, Filbo, and then vectors. So this would still take us to Filbo, and then vector us probably this direction and go to the runway. I would prefer to do that from Mars. Maybe I will. Because there is no ATC. When there's ATC, it's okay, you know, they know what you should do. So delete Filbo. That's invalid. Okay, maybe because we need to first delete the vectors. That's also invalid. Okay. So that means after Filbo we'll get vectors. And we could do that ourselves as well. And that would eventually take us to MBay, and that is this one right there. So as I said, from Mars to MBay would be nice, but we can also just fly direct, you know. We could just, let's say this is active, go to the legs page, and you say we are now, for instance, on our way to UMBRE. Let's say we want to go to QUART, we'll just say QUART, and we put it onto UMBRE, and we'll fly direct there, but we'll not do that. So, clear. And let's also go back to route number 1 legs. We have set up some sort of, let's try and stick with the plan. So we might have a tailwind landing then. put this back on map view. Please do not drift. See if the fingers are still working. It looks like they are. Miles, 102 miles to the top of descent. It's coming right there after Bill. Hey, Luca, welcome back. I was just looking up something. Yes, it's cool, right? Well, actually, we're above the clouds, but I know what you mean. Yeah, that's really cool. And then if you think about it, right, the people who are actually, in fact, under the clouds, they must have such a dark day, you know? And then when you're up here, look at that. Everywhere there's sun, blue sky. Look at that. There's a bright sun in the sky. That's so cool. I also love that a lot. Right, so top of descent will be in about, what is it? 12 minutes? 11 minutes? Looks like we got a new call message. Well, hopefully the weather report was wrong. Let's have a look. What are they saying? Information Sierra. I think this is the one that we saw. Cancel. Oh, we just didn't cancel it. That's it. So if we go to review, flight info uplinks. So 180360. I mean, that's quite a change. can exit from here. So I thought there was new weather report. So 37,000. So basically we just manage our speed on our way down. Let's get to the next page. 327, 270, 293. $11,000. I don't know, guess we're okay. Let's put in the final approach speed. That might change a little bit. We are burning a little bit more fuel. We're expected to land with about 8.3 thousand kilograms. Now we have 11.6, so the number will go down. So this number, 140 knots at flaps 30. But let's put it in for now, so we have something to work with. So flaps 30 is full flaps, 30 degrees. So that means that we pretty much have all the information. The QNH air pressure, I believe, was 3019. It is now, 3020. Just double check. 3019. We'll dial it down one little number. And it never takes one. You always have to go back, and then it says 20. They do one more, and then see, it doesn't want to stay at 19. There it is, 19. We did it. I knew I was a good boy. Look at that. Okay. Let's get our descent checklist. So recall. We're not descending quite yet, but we're definitely getting there. 57 miles, 1919. So made some time there. That's about 5-6 minutes. So we have set the correct altitude, 1500 feet. We have our VRF speed, 140 knots. And we need to put that in here. So let's go to the next page, 140 knots, and we'll add 5 for wind. Although, if we actually do have a tailwind landing, then I'm not really sure. Hey, Mostly Planes, how are you doing, man? So nice of you to say hi. How are you doing? I hope you're well. So underrated? What is underrated? I'm totally lost on what you're talking about. My bad. So the final approach speed, so 145. So basically it's 140. But if we actually do have a tailwind, then I'm not sure if we actually should compensate for wind in the positive way, you know. So maybe we'll just leave it at 140 for now. So let's put it in 140 / and that will be at our runway. Runway to the left. Oh, so please, that's it. I'm doing fine, Mostly Planes. Thank you very much. Mostly Planes saying your videos are awesome. Just not many people have discovered them yet. Ah, that's such a sweet thing to say. Thank you very much. Let me play a little song for you, just to show you my appreciation for your very kind words. Thank you, Mostly Planes, for keeping it all so sane. Thank you, man. That's very sweet of you to say. I appreciate it a lot. I hope you enjoyed. That's what we're here for. Alright, so what are we looking at? VNAV. Top of descent 36 miles, 1919. So that is, do not look at that 19. 15, that's the one we need. Cool, man. That's cool. Hey, the weather is sort of going. There's an airport there, actually. We're not going there. So the clouds are sort of disappearing here. Yeah, so it's a shame we only have like 1 hourly updates for Newark. I would expect a lot more. Maybe it's because I'm using the PMDG weather report, so maybe if I would run out to that sim or whatever, it's all just in good fun anyway. At least we got something. So basically, we are about to descend 30 miles. So I guess we can check our vehicle now, see if anything is on fire or something. No, we didn't lose any baby pianos that are tumbling down. Notes is not applicable. Auto brake, let's set the auto brake. You know, let's do 3. If we do really have a tailwind, then why not brake? We might float a little bit. And actually, let's try 4. There is also max, right? No, so let's try 4, see what that's going to do for us. I've never used it in this aircraft, so we'll see what it's going to do. Auto brake checked. Landing data VRF and minimums. Oops. So in a draft, so we're still at 140. And then we have, let's get a proper view, sorry. So 108, that's 17, 219, that will be our runway. We have our minimums, 150, and we have 30 decimal, or actually 3019. Most of the planes saying how long until landing time. Well, that is, well, pretty much now. Let's see, top of descent is in 21 minutes. 21 nautical miles, so that's in about 1 or 2 minutes. We'll start descending. So that's about 30 minutes, but actually, that's a very simple answer to your question. Newark, 1957. So that is in 40 minutes from now, sir. So, landing data, VLF and minimums, yes, they're checked. Approach briefing, yeah, I guess we've checked our approach briefing. We've went over that. We've created a couple of waypoints to help us line up, because actually we should get vectored, but there's no way to see, so we'll just sort of vector ourselves. I must say I never like having the workload vectoring myself with the heading button if I don't have to. And then I just, and it's also a nice way to learn how to, well, let's say program the FNC, you know. So, yeah, so that's, we can have a quick look at that flight plan. So basically, let's actually put the navigation display here to my right. And the legs page. So we added a couple of waypoints here. So after Mart, we were supposed to go to Filbo. I'm just going to pronounce it as Filbo. And then from there, it was a straight line. It's basically the vectors. So yeah, we could basically follow it and then take a right turn, 089 degrees or whatever it is, and then take another right turn. But I just like to put some extra waypoints in there, and that's what we did. And let's we zoom in now, as part of the approach briefing, if you will. It is still cutting it quite close. At 50 nautical miles, we'll be taking a right turn to get us onto the localizer. So we will definitely intercept the localizer, but we'll also be looking at the vertical situation, you know, and we want to get our speed under control. So I would prefer actually a much longer approach route like that. But it's interesting to do it. I can imagine it's a busy area, so at least in real life it would be. But yeah, so far for our approach briefing. Checklist. And then the altimeter. So at 18,000 feet we will set the altimeters for the local barometric pressure. And there you go. Descent has started. And it is not descending yet, it's starting only now. You can see the vertical deviation 1100, 1200 feet. But let's give her some time to adjust before we slam out the speed brakes. So there, nose dropping. So vertical deviation trying to remain still around 17, and now it's slowly going down. Okay. And we're descending like 4,100 feet per minute, 43, 4,400. Look at our nose, 4,600 feet per minute. And is it increasing? 5,000? What the hell, man? 5,400. Well, she's definitely going down. But the vertical deviation is decreasing now. Look at that. 500, 400. .6 on our total of fuel. So let's check the inner draft page. We're still looking at 140 knots for the final approach speed. So now on our way to Fubar, 70 nautical miles, flight level 270. We're still a little bit high. So I think now actually I will extend the speed brakes. So there's our speed brakes. And we're back on profile. So retract the speed brakes now. I think I'll turn off the traffic for a bit. Oh wait, that also removes. Yeah. Let's turn off the TCAS then. There you go, TCAS off. Not happy about that, but that's okay. So time is 19:22. Touchdown 1955. Still New York area today. There's not a lot of clouds left, at least not where we are. There is some more clouds where we're going. Look at that. There appears to be also some wind from the left. You can see that right here as well. Okay, so 27,000 feet. At 18,000 we'll switch to local barometric pressure. I do like that about the United States, it's very high. Gives me a sense of security. I like it. I mean, if you know what I mean. Like, you don't have to worry about it like at the last moment, like at some airports it's 3,000 feet, you know, and you know, in real life at the same time you have two pilots doing everything. And you have actual hands to quickly, you know, intuitively reach for a knob, you know, or a button, and obviously you have to zoom in and out in the simulator and use your mouse and get all those little things. But hey man, I'm not complaining. Look at this aircraft, it's just so cool. 777-F, PMDG. It's a really nice airplane to fly. But yeah, let's hope I'm gonna get a good ILS approach today. Because as I said earlier, I've not messed up, I've set them down, but they were not very pretty. Like once I was going nose down, I was getting messages saying glide slope, you know, and at one point at some flight I got pulled up, you know. Your boss would probably like fire your ass, you know, like Gidzenko, what the hell are you doing, you know. But yeah. Still a little bit high actually, so I'm going to extend some more speed brakes. That's a speed brake extension warning. I'm going to extend them again. Approach speed still 140. We do have the speed brakes extended, so we're keeping an eye on that. Getting a little bit low now. Our speed 293, and we're supposed to be 293, so at this descent rate it's probably best if we keep the speed brakes extended a little while longer. Until we get a little bit more stable, I guess. So on our way to TQO. It's a local VOR. Very popular. Has a lot of good hit records out with the bullet. Our estimated, or en route time, not estimated, en route time 1 hour 9 minutes. Time 1927. It's now saying 3010. There you go, 3019. I'm still keeping the speed brake extended now, so that we do not accelerate. And we're also on the profile. We should be at speed 293. You see it here, that's what it's sort of targeting. And this is what it's doing. But we're still descending, and I do want to stay on the profile, really. You know, you don't want to be too high or too low. A little bit too low is fine, but a little bit too high is disaster. I don't like it. Okay, on our way to Steffi now, 17,000, between 17,000 and 13,000 feet. And speed 293. Let's release or retract the speed brakes. Are you there? Up with us in this airplane, up in the air. Luca, are you there? Up in this airplane in the air. It's so nice of you to join between your homework and maybe your dinner. Thank you for coming along. Oh, Luca. Thank you for coming along. Oh, Luca. Well, man, I hope it didn't play you a lullaby. You're now snoring on your keyboard and slime oozing out, and you know what I mean. But so nice of you to join too, Luca. Very nice. Alright, man, what we're looking at? 17,000, so let's switch to local pressure. 3019ers. We do not have any weather report, so we're just going by what the last weather report that we had. Still saying we're a little bit high, so let's get our speed brakes out. Or am I a little bit speed brake trigger happy? Let's see what's the trend. It's going down a little bit, 60, 50 until it reaches 30, and then it sort of ignores it. Then it thinks everything's okay. Alright, cool. So up next, Stacy, and then we got Sonto, Dylan, Mercer, Metro, Mart, Fulbo, and then we get the waypoints that we create ourselves, and then let's set the sucker down. What do you say? So for the approach checklist, altimeters, we can check that, and then normal, and then we have our landing checklist. It means speed brake armed. It will be like this, but we're not arming it yet. Landing gear down. There's the landing gear lever. And then flaps to 30, so that means full flaps. And on that note, let's check our inlet left page. Still speed 140 if we choose to go for flaps 30 degrees. And that's what we will, so that's what we'll do. On the next page we should have speed 140 at the runway as well. There you go, there it is. So far everything looking good. And let's turn on the seatbelt sign. There might be some people in the back, like this little area here, you know, just for some, I don't know, some baggage handlers or whatever you need to bring with, or some company people, you know. Let's make sure that they are strapped up. And we can also start up the APU. And what is our altitude? 13,000. We are easing through the sky like an old man easing into a lukewarm bath. Right, let's get back inside. We do still have our speed brakes. No, we do not. 12,000. Speed should be 274 at 11,000 feet. That's in 4 nautical miles, so it's probably first going for 11,000 feet, and then it will bring the speed down. Let's see if it do that without our intervening. Because I think this is a hard constraint, so it should remain at 11,000. Unless it's aiming to be precisely there at the correct time, in which case I don't think we will be there at the correct speed of 274. It's interesting to see how it develops. 11,300, but 1 nautical mile, so it's never going to make that. So let's intervene. So 10,000 feet coming up. Turn on the landing lights. We maybe have any weather here. This will also probably, oops. .3607 knots. That's the same weather report. Okay. Okay, let's retract the speed brakes. So this be the weather today in New York. I can zoom in a little bit more now on the navigational display. On our way to ARD, DOR. I'm sorry, I do not know what it stands for. ARD, what is that? There's no other information on here. Okay. For ARD, now to Dillon, that's basically already here. Dillon, 8,000 feet, speed 240. So we're doing quite nice. It's definitely hitting some moisture now. But at least we can see the ground, so that will make for a... Actually, it's also nice to have an approach and you don't see the airport, you know. Mercer, and then to Metro, 10 miles, speed 240, and then 7011. Metro. Okay, so if we were to land at 04 left or right, then we could expect vectors actually from Metro. We would not have to fly to Fulbo. That's nice, it's on this chart. Let's check the ATIS information. This was 47 minutes ago. This is real world ATIS. So, well, they're still using, at least for departing, 22 left. But that basically pretty much means we should be able to land there. We do have 7 knots of headwind that was reported 47 minutes ago. So I have no clue what it is now. And obviously, you know, this will update the whole time. Alright, so I'll quickly top up my IC. I'll be back in 2 shakes of donkeys here. Alright, here we are. So I was as I was getting a new drink, I was thinking, people who say I got no beef with pork, they should not be trusted. I have no beef with pork and no beef with beef. Fulbo, first Mart. So we are actually committed now, so we're going to land at the runway 22 left, possibly with a tailwind. We'll find that out shortly. So what does the aircraft want us to do? 240 knots at 6072. The speed's a little bit high, but it's okay. Around 1 hour and 23 minutes into the flight. Time is 1940, and we're expected to touch down in 16 minutes. 8.2 thousand kilograms of fuel, and the final approach speed went down to 139 knots. Select that, and we'll immediately put it into the FMC as well. So 139 /. So we're not compensating for wind. I hope this is not going to get us into trouble. But usually you would add 5, because usually we'll land with a headwind. But I'm thinking, well, there will not be a headwind, there will be a tailwind. You know, and that's why we're choosing speed brake 4, or auto brake 4. Because we might float a little bit. Okay, so next page, on the way to Mars, 3 miles, speed 240 all the way through. Now that I don't like very much. I would actually prefer, and let's do that, to have speed 210 for instance. Let's do that. 210 / add PAT02. Oh, doesn't like that? 20 there. Does it require me to say 27909? Maybe because it's a custom waypoint, I don't know. And that is accepted, okay. And the pattern is not a custom waypoint, so if we say 210 there, /, does it do it? No, it doesn't. Don't know why. That's 3283. Well, just to slow her down a little bit more. So, Filbo in 12 miles. We'll go to 240, and then we've got 20 miles to reach 210, and then 6 miles, 210, 7 nautical miles, 206, 2 nautical miles, 194. So, you know, it's just sort of gradually increase speed. Rather than doing it all at once at the very last bit, you know, and this already is, to me, it appears like a bit of a short approach. It's not really. I mean, the circle that we put the circle there, the fixed link, at the point where the glide slope will take us down, will take over. So that is still like, I don't know, 9 miles or something. No new weather reports yet. Unfortunado. We have DME, 19.6 nautical miles. No, that is wrong. That is from, let me double check. India Echo Zulu Alpha. Might be some nearby. We should be India Lima Sierra Quebec. So this is not our DME. Unless it's for one of the other runways, that could be 04 left or 04 right. Let's check the charts, because I'm curious by nature. 04 left, that is IEWR, that's not it. This was, I don't think that's it, it's one of those. Let's see, runway 2, 04 right, second one, IEZA. There you go. So that explains the proximity, 19.4, and basically it's not really changing a whole lot because of, you know, not flying to or from it, basically flying next to it. So it's not changing very fast. Okay, cool. So that will change later on. And I'm thinking, do we see this in our ATNAV page? Oh, never that. Not weak to at least have the correct one here. That's good. Right, back to legs. full bow, 1 knot mile 240, and now we're going to take a right turn to pattern. And pattern is not a custom waypoint like is pattern 02, that is, but pattern was not actually part of the flight plan, we added it ourselves. That one, and then we need another one sort of in line, so that's this one there. We'll see how it's going to work out. Hopefully it's just giving us a little bit more time to prepare. Pattern will be heading 086, pattern 20915. So we are flying over New York area. So maybe some reach out where some rock artists are ODing or working on their next album. Or both. It looks like a nice area actually, nice and swampy. I mean, when I think of New York, I usually think of the concrete city, you know, with the tall buildings, but obviously it has a shitload of suburbs, you know. That looks like a nice area, nice and green, I like it. Okay, so what's going on? Let's get back inside. 1,200. Yeah, so basically we're staying around 15 nautical miles from the airport before we turn, and that I prefer that. And the original plan would actually take us like straight to the final approach fix and then quick right turn. Maybe it's possible, maybe it's flyable, I don't know, but I'm not that good. But when we do it like this, it's a lot easier. And it's also a lot of fun to get to know the program, the FMC, if you can call it that. You know, to create like extra waypoints and play around with that. That's very nice. It does appear windy, looking at the aircraft animations, if you will. 11 knots, 12 knots, it is somewhat windy. I'm curious if we're going to get a new weather update soon. This was issued 1851. That's still the same one. Okay. This definitely looks windy. The crosswind from the left at the moment. I think I can see it. I think it might look like we're drifting a little bit towards the right. It's not like super apparent, you know, but I guess I can see it. And I think that triangle there, the white triangle, is the nose of our aircraft. towards 14.5 nautical miles. ILSQ. I don't want to look at this chart. ILSQ, that's ours. So taking a right turn now. So let's turn on the localizer. The localizer armed. And we'll also turn on alarm turn off lights, taxi lights. Okay, so we're not turning quite yet. We're still on our way to Pato, 4 miles. Speed is getting a little bit low. Totally not paying attention to that, so let's go flaps 1. That should be okay, I guess. There was somewhat of a lag there. So 210 knots, maybe not the best speed. Maybe I'm regretting it. But look at the wind. Looks like we might get wind in our tails. Localizers captured. That means we also arm the approach. The glide slopes armed. Yes, I'm guessing maybe 210 knots might be a little bit on the slow side here. Gidzenko 206, that's what we're going to now. And the glide slope is alive, not yet captured. Flap 1 speed is about 199 knots, it would seem. I guess we're still good at flaps 1. We do, at this altitude, still have a tailwind. 10 knots, 11 knots. So once we get captured by the glide slope, we will get the speed window unlocked, if you will. We could also override it, but we're not doing that. And then we'll manage the final approach speed ourselves. So we know it's supposed to be 139 knots at full flaps. But we do have a tailwind, possibly also at lower altitude. Now targeting 185, let's go flaps 5. Glide slope armed. Let's arm our speed brakes, that's checked off the list. Then we have landing gear and flaps 30. Our range is 8.2 nautical miles. Setting flaps 15. There is our runway. 2 to the left. We're about to be captured by the glide slope now. Let's drop our gear. Gear down. Okay, glide slope captured. range 4.8, 4.7. Flaps 20. Let's go final approach speed. Let's go 140 and full flaps. Oops, that doesn't work. So we do still have a tailwind.
1,000.
The speed is quite high. Let's see how this is going to go down. I'm going to leave the autopilot on for a little bit longer, just because of the tailwind. And our speed definitely needs to go down a little bit more. And I do tend to trust the autopilot a little bit better than I do myself. Right, autopilot disengaged.
500. Approaching minimums. 200. Minimums.
Continue.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
50. 30.
Idle.
20.
Wire.
10.
And there's nose wheel touchdown as well. Full reverse. We have auto brake 4. Welcome to Newark, everybody. And we may need to do some additional toe braking. 60 knots. Flaps up. There's our latest weather report. So speed 45 knots, so we can exit here. And then we'll cross runway 2 to right as well. Turn off the landing lights. So there we are, landed safely, sort of, at Newark Airport. We definitely had some tailwind there. I was really trying to prevent the message, glide slope to come, or what's the other one? Descent rate. Sorry, I'm hitting a blank. But yeah, we did get the latter. I do not believe we got glide slope. Okay, I'm just putting it down somewhere. I'm just following some lines. Oh, okay, let's hit to the left of some place. Let's just do that. Yeah, that's not perfect. Over here. We'll stop. Parking brake set. Let's get this camera angle. It's always tilting. But yeah, here we are, man. So we sort of landed in one piece. And we'll definitely fly this aircraft some more on the channel. I really like it. a very nice aircraft, especially during takeoff and cruise. The approach is always a bit of a challenge for me, but that's what's super nice, you know, and you can only get better at things, so that's, I always like that. And there she is. Alright, man, I would like to thank you guys very much for checking. It's very much appreciated. Special shout out to Luka, Avramovic, and mostly Plates. You guys had some very kind words, and that's super sweet. Thank you very much. I will see you at the next video. Everybody stay funky, and see you next time. Bye bye.